texture to a space is through fabrics, but what about your walls? There are so many options. So Suzanne, you are back to walk us through gorgeous options. I think that a lot of us haven't even seen or considered when it comes to your wall texture.
Well, I think texture is so important, first of all. I want to say, like, one of the best ways to get design impact is to think about adding texture to your walls, because imagine going to a space that's all drywall. It's a little bit boring.
It is.
And it's an easy way to add life by just thinking about key places to put texture. It doesn't have to be on every single wall, by the way. You can pick your feature walls. I always like to have a through line, though. So if you put it in one place, think about putting it in another place so it feels cohesive.
Absolutely.
Okay? So one of the age-old ways to do that is with paneling.
Yes.
And we've seen this many times. This is sort of your typical tongue and groove, very country style beadboard type paneling. It clicks together really easily. So it's super easy to install. Now this is now being made in wider sizes, which feels more contemporary. But what you can also do is put it up in these sheets. So I love these because they're so easy to install. This is, when you do the tongue and groove and the click, especially in the wider sizes, it's a bit more complicated. You have to seal the back so that it doesn't buckle. With this, it's way easier. You can just put it up. Now imagine this painted, because you can paint it any color and you get a different impact. Now we have a photo of a washroom where this is actually a washroom in a basement. And we put it up there. Basements are great places to do this because they're usually pretty dull, usually always all drywall, and instantly you get a feeling, sort of a Scandinavian vibe, especially painted white. So this is an easy way to get high impact. Okay, so more things with wood. So this is actually a picture we have here of my cottage, and I wanted to show it because you see that large door? That's the door to the bedroom, and what we did was we bought this from a place called Urban Tree Salvage, and oh, and by the way, this is from Brenlow. I have to tell you that before I move on. But Urban Tree Salvage, and it's reclaimed wood that's was in Lake Ontario for 100 years, and it kind of petrified and turned that beautiful silvery color.
That's beautiful.
So one way to think about your walls is it doesn't have to be the actual wall. It could be a door, and it's still on that same vertical plane, giving the impact of that wood. And then with the offcuts, if we have another picture, we use it on our island. On your island. Just to add a little more warmth and create that through line that I'm talking about. That's just an IKEA island. We bought that at IKEA, and then, you know, it's one of those plain faces. Just putting that on the front, it gives you an instant sort of style.
No, is it nice and light?
It is light because it's been underwater for so much. It's very light, yes.
Very cool. I love that idea.
So lots to do with wood. Okay, our next category is tile. I can't tell you how many things are happening with tile these days. Like, I could have done this whole thing on textured tile. There's so much. We have these pieces from stone tile to start with. So let's talk. We have a picture of wood. Look at this. This is like a tile, but it's made out of wood. It's got a polished finish on it. This lovely layered scaled effect. So much texture. And these are some of the samples of different, they have so many patterns of different ways that you can bring wood patterns onto your wall.
So these are all wood tiles here. So this one, and this one. And so imagine them painted, stained,
or just like this,
or just like that.
I love the raw finish of this one. Again, that's very on trend right now. That raw white oak look. Okay. Then we also have this one photo coming up of shingles. They have these very cool tiles. They look like shingles. I call them fish scales.
Isn't that cool?
Isn't that cool?
Beautiful.
Imagine, no, these are high-end, you know, investment pieces. If you want to make a big statement, I picture that kind of look in a very modern house, where you've got lots of space to see it. Here's another texture, similar colors. Look at all the beautiful colors as well. What I love about this is that you can play with some flat ones mixed into the mix, and then these kind of geometric ones, and you could do all white, or you can mix up the colors and have fun with it.
Gorgeous. And I mean, it can be a whole wall. It can be just a little part of the wall, but the people are going to be touching your walls.
They're going to be touching the walls.
But they feel so good, but they're easy to clean. Oh, they feel amazing.
We have this beautiful petal pattern that looks like a flower, and we do have a shot of that. This just shows you how it works, right?
Isn't that pretty?
Isn't that gorgeous?
And it's all bumpy. It's all textured.
Bumpy. Again, very bespoke, very custom kind of design. Okay, then we have more tiles from Metro Source. I wanted to bring in one that's got an older feeling. This is like an anaglyptic pattern that looks like a tin thin ceiling.
Yes.
And you could put it on your ceiling, but you can also put it on the wall.
Yes.
And make that sort of old world feeling. Then there's this one. This is just to show you don't have to go really highly 3D if you don't want to. This is super subtle.
It's very subtle.
I was hoping you guys can catch this in the light. It's difficult, I know, because it's white on white. Sometimes going for a subtle effect is just as impactful as a really 3D effect.
Yeah, because
right?
you get up close to it and you can actually see the fine detail there.
And now I want to show you one that I love. It's from Marble Trend.
Yes.
And look at this.
Tell them what this is.
So this is actually marble. They basically saw it, the pattern, and then they have an Italian sculptor in Italy hand sculpt it to make it get this beautiful sort of exotic pattern.
Yeah, so it's pretty cheap. It's pretty cheap.
These are investments. Okay, but one thing that's not, oh, actually this is an investment too. So this is, you can also commission an artist. I love working with artists to come into a house and do something really custom.
Yeah.
So imagine this is by Christy Lau. Imagine it's a miniature of a full wall. So she can hand cast all of these little flowers and make them, they would actually be around this big in reality.
Okay.
It's almost like bringing a wedding cake into your wall, onto your wall. They are absolutely stunning. And she made this little maquette for me to showcase what she can do.
That's beautiful.
And I love the way she's taken the idea of paneling and then let it fall apart into the florals.
Yes.
So really beautiful. Again, it would take her about 2 weeks to do one wall in your house. So she'd be living with you for a little bit.
Yes, she would. And it would be worth it, let me tell you.
It would be. Okay, so let's talk about faux brick. Because I love faux brick. I love how industrial it is. This is an example of what you can do. And what they do is the brick is a veneer, so it's super thin. It's not really as heavy as real brick. It's on a mesh, so they can install it in like a big space. It clicks into place.
Yep.
And what they do is they mortar it on site so that you get that real feeling of old brick, and then you can paint it. I love it painted white. It looks so clean, and it gives you that industrial spin. I'm actually using this in a loft right now, and it's so beautiful. Love that.
Yeah, that's really lovely. Now, if you don't want to go all the way for the brick, you can actually you can go with concrete.
Yeah.
So this is also pretty heavy.
Pretty heavy.
This needs to be sustained, which is why we've got a picture of how it looks in a place, but also this is the back of it.
Yeah, this company has a system where it's like a metal system that allows it to click into place. It's sort of spinning on a very commercial application, but you can bring it home if you're really into that concrete look.
Yes.
And it's the authentic thing. But the pieces are thin, so it's not as heavy as you might think.
Yeah, okay.
Now, if you love concrete, but you don't want to go into the big investment, you can do vinyl. So we have another shot.
I love this option.
Yeah, this is really cool. So we have a picture of it in place where you get, and it looks really a lot like concrete. And there's
Doesn't that look good?
Doesn't that look real?
Yeah, that's beautiful.
And because it's vinyl, it's got a little bit of a texture in it that feels like concrete. So when you run your hand on it, it feels like concrete. And there are so many different patterns of concrete out there.
I love that they've done all of this with vinyl. Like, vinyl's come a long way, man.
Vinyl's come a long way. And the last but least is wallpaper. This is just a quick little hit of what you can do with wallpaper with a little bit of a button detail or a rivet detail.
It's a grass cloth, right?
It's a grass cloth. In some cases, it's a hemp cloth, which is kind of cool too. Yeah.
Really good. Okay, so many different retailers. I always want to remind our viewers, we put all of these details on our website, cityline.tv, but you are brilliant at including all of the sources, so thank you. I want to give a huge thank you to Century Architecture for the faux brick that we showed, and Spring Valley for the concrete panels. These are amazing.